bodies buried in the soil.
Look who's come to join the party. Oh, but you do get around, don't you?
He takes a satisfied sniff and rubs his hands together. His lips stretch into a mischievous smirk.
When it comes to graveyards, I'm a kid in a candy shop. All sorts of goodies and gewgaws for the taking. And a bit of rousing conversation. If you know what to dig, that is. Indeed. It's not just decomposing flesh and bone dust underfoot, as you know. Why, the very essence of decay flavors many an essential oil and tincture.
He presses a forefinger against his chin and hums.
You're a savvy one. I must confess, I'm not just here for random baubles and whatnot. There's something my heart, such as it is set on. Well, that's the gold-plated question it is. I dare say you'll enjoy this story. Somewhere in this graveyard lies an object of tremendous power. Or so the legends say, anyway. Belonged to a family buried near here, the Surreys. I've been reading up on them. An ancient clan of eccentrics and oddballs. Fascinating people, truly. Oh, Joanna was the last. The poor dear. Had no money, no children, just this incredible heirloom passed down to her through the generations. Problem is, no one knows what this object is. Only that it's an astounding piece of work. Seems Joanna took its secrets to her grave. Rather literally.
His coy grin freezes.
I can recite each page from memory, but I've neither the time nor the inclination.
Tarquin sighs, and his lips unfreeze. For a moment, he looks almost modest.
It pains me to say, but you've talents in the adventuring department that I do not. And this heirloom could prove valuable for both of us. It's a quandary, you see. I tried. I really did. But the servants that tend the graves, well, their master isn't so keen on me. He caught me nosing around and had those masked freaks chase me off. The spirits within are particularly feisty as well. Can't say why. I'm as gentle as can be. Alas, I am stuck sniffing out herbs and fungi on the outskirts. Beautiful. The Surrey tomb must be somewhere nearby. And whatever that object is in there, I bet it's impressive.
He looks toward the graveyard.
I do wish I could wander inside. It would be nice to look up some old friends. See if they're in good spirits. Ah, you again. Any luck in old Lady Surrey's tomb? Oh, good. Take a few. Those masked freaks. God's damned Riker. My sun-baked... Oh, take a few... Lovely day. Ah, you again. Any luck in old lady Surrey's tomb? Oh, take a few...
The lizard hums tunelessly, not a melody exactly, but more of a meandering moan.
10 spans under, humans slept. 10 spans up, the dwarves were kept. Lizards burned in lasting flame. Elven trees towards skies did aim.
She looks to your left with one eye, and to your right with the other.
It helps me remember where the dead go. Sometimes they don't stay where I put them. That's okay.
She smiles at you with the innocence of a newborn. The hum still throbs in her throat.
Keeping watch, tending the graves.
She returns to her humming. She flinches as you move closer.
No, no touching.
Her humming fades. The eerie silence lasts for several seconds.
Riker might get mad. He doesn't like it when someone touches his things.
She shivers and whispers.
Powerful sorcerer. Lives here, right in the garden. He can take the you from you. No brain, just body.
She points at her head.
The servants, they got nothing up there. Riker has it all now. They need to be freed. Only way. Kill Riker. The servants, so lost, chained by Sorcerer Riker, but they can still go home to the hall. Set them free.
The ensuing silence lasts for several seconds, until she picks up the melody once again and turns away.
Elven tree.
Did you expect a needle? Within the stone garden's walls, peace be thy immortal fortune, relieved of toil, free of indignity, until thou art called to serve. Did you expect a needle? As you reach to push open the heavy door, the coils and whirls of engraved wood dance into a new pattern. The semblance of a face arises, a face that seems to look right through you.
A little sorcerer, come to play. You are a sorcerer, are you not? Perhaps even God-woken? Tell me true, now.
Silence greets your answer. In the distance, you hear the screech of an eagle. Worryingly closer, you hear some kind of a moan. Time passes. At last,
Enter.
the face melts back into the wood of the door, and the whirls swirl back into a floral pattern.
Fine abode. A pity the location's so inadequate.
The servant grumbles. The creature barely knows. The servant responds with a blank look and a...
When the kingdom is decaying, what good is a king?
Human graves. May the dead stay forever at rest.
Praise and silence, but to what god, I wonder?
The servant responds with... Here rests Gawain Rince, faithfully, son of Idwal, brother to Gwydion, undeservedly loved, unreservedly condemned. May the Seven withhold their grace.
Kin, you speak to Cure, hatched from the egg of Zora. It pleases Cure to speak to lizards once more. But why does a dragonkin leave the ancient empire? Why does a dragonkin come to such a dark place?
You stare in shock. It's speaking perfect old tongue. You'd have no idea what it was saying if you weren't well versed in the Empire's ancient texts.
A celestial champion. Cure expects nothing less from a kin. Our old master would be proud. Has the Empire fallen so far? The old master would never have allowed such folly. Cure's old master taught Cure. Consul Zara, esteemed lizard consul, was the most prestigious master. Until the elf killed Consul Zara.
The lizard lets out a low, rumbling hiss.
Killed Zara for gold. Then he stole Zara's chest and stole Cure away. A prisoner, yes, but my master's secrets are safe. The vile elf cannot speak our elegant tongue, and he could not break open her chest. It tried for many weeks, but its enchantments are strong. In the elf's rage, it was thrown into the flames of our lizard graves. Even there, it could not be destroyed. It brought joy to hear the elf's fury.
The lizard's eyes, cold, search your face for a moment.
Cure has hoped to keep his master's secrets until the end of time. But if you can douse the fire, good prince, sing these words. The chest will open for you like a cracked egg. Honor the memory of Cure's master. She deserves nothing less.
The masked creature is...
What's this?
Strange.
I found something.
Smart writing is a forgotten art. A visitor. Such a rare and exquisite pleasure.
The elf tilts his head backwards, but his squinted eyes don't stray from yours.
Call me Riker. Please, do avail yourself of my creature comforts. You've surely come a long way. It's not an ordinary location, I admit, but I prefer to be extraordinary. There is no pleasure in mediocrity. Don't you agree, Godwoken? Don't be so naive. My doors only open on the occasion of truth. What you admit to them, you admit to me, Red Scale. I also see you are not yet whole.
He presses a slender forefinger against his tight lips and hums.
I'm not a generous man, but I could give you what you seek if you offer something in return. A completely fair exchange between sorcerers. Let's not be so secretive, my good fellow. You're dying to show off those smoldering talents of yours. You just don't know how to handle them. I can help you with that. I can share my bond with the source with you, fill your well to the brim, make you a master. The rest of the story, well, it's yours to write. You must go to the Black Pits. There's a cavern there. In it, you'll find a stone tablet of considerable value.
He points to the location on your map.
Bring it to me.
Dizziness. It lasts just a moment, but long enough for you to feel Zorstis's presence. You hear no words, yet understand. It's imperative you accept Riker's bargain. The episode passes. Riker is peering at you intently. He awaits your reply.
It's a miracle of the ancients. Priceless, really, and powerful enough to draw the Magister's attentions. I won't bore you with further detail. Suffice it to say, it is safer in my hands than in theirs. Oh, but heading to the Black Pits would mean tangling with more magisters, and they're such a nuisance. I like keeping my hands clean, you see.
Riker's lips stretch and his cheeks bulge, but you couldn't rightly call his unusual grimace a smile.
I'm a man of taste, as you no doubt see. A relic this significant would make an incredible addition to my collection. Don't deny an old elf his simple pleasures. A promise you'd best fulfill.
Riker bows his head deeply.
Then you'll have the power you seek, if not the power that trumps it. There will always be one greater, you know. Now please, don't let me keep you. Tarquin. Ah, that must be the fellow I found snooping in unwanted places. There are some types, deceitful types, that don't deserve to be among a place of such treasure. He doesn't appreciate what the dead can do for us, my friend.
He turns the back of his hand towards you and waves it back and forth, nudging you away.
Do be sure to see yourself out. These tomes demand my attention. Death prowls above. Ascend only if you seek.
The creature bet.
Apple tater cheese.
The rat's tail twists and untwists. His ears cock and uncock.
Food, food, food. No time, need food.
The rat's
food.
The turtle looks up at you, slowly. It looks down, slowly.
Lucky in life, unlucky in love.
She lets loose a long sigh. She inhales. She sighs again.
Rory, the rat. He's just over there. Don't blink, or he'll flit right past. He's Grace. I'm Gruel. I'm too slow to give him smooches. And he's... If only I could keep up. I could groan sweet things in his little ears. I could tell him I love him. I could share my beats. I like beats. used to be the ladies. Was there one day and wasn't the next. Riker now, nice guy, gives me beats. I like beats. Oh, how kind. But I don't like butter. You could try carrot juice or some kind of nectar. The rats like nectar. Maybe cheese juice. Is there such a thing as cheese juice? Oh, it's too bad. Because
She grins at her own. The turtle looks up.
luck made the soil so.
I've spotted something. I've spotted something.
And who are you? Oh, never mind, no time. Hurry on in and gear up. There's a void woken right out the front door.
A spillage all over the floor.
Locked.
And who are you? Oh, never mind, no time. By the 7, that's what I'm talking about. I got all the fixings here for every kind of bomb, grenade, missile and shit.
Junk. Fastened tight.
Got what you need? I'll bring up the rear. you are, my good-looking lad.
Ma!
Let me get a good look at you. You're okay?
Of course I...
And how's my little spider monkey doing? Safe and sound?
Spider monkey? You mean dragon?
Come here, you.
Mother and son fall into a tight embrace. One tear rolls down Mari's nose. Mari seems oblivious to you. Her eyes are closed, her lips turned in a serene smile as she strokes Barin's head.
My boy, my good boy.
Hey, wait, 1 sec. Ma! Ma, look! Ma, this is my friend. Friend, this is Ma. Ma made it back. See? She's here. Thank the gods.
Thank the gods. Oh, thank the mum. And our friend here too. I know a good arm when I see one. I'll tell my cousin Ryman what you did. He's real high up in the order and he's visiting Driftwood as we speak. Could be he has some good work for you. Don't I know? They're a jumpy lot these days. Voidwoken have got all us sleeping with our weapons in hand. Can't Ryman's a good sort. You'll see.
I don't like him. He's mean.
Oh, from the mouth of babes. Well, you don't have to be nice to be a good sort. You'll see. I'll tell him what you did here. He'll be grateful. Reckon there's space for us in the Magister's barracks. Ryman ought not to turn down his own cousin. Some dwarves, locals, attacked a Magister caravan. Must have been sorcerers inside. Voidwoken must have sensed them. Came in formation like a proper battalion. Never seen anything like it.
Mari looks to Barin and flexes. He does the same back at her.
Luck wishes. We're off into town. Best of luck to you, mate. And come say hi if you make your way inside.
There's more than water down here. I wonder where it leads. Under lock and key.
Stone Guard, be welcome.
Fastened tight.
Ah, you again. Any luck in old lady? Oh, good. Take a...
The dog growls and bares its teeth at you in a wide, unsettling grin. The dog growls and bares its teeth at you in a wide, unsettling grin.
Come closer. I dare you.
He sniffs. He snarls.
I am death. There's no defying me. You would mock the beast after crawling into its mouth?
The dog's growls intensify and transform into a rhythmic rasp that mimics laughter. You swear you see the ground behind him momentarily churn and tremble.
Not one step further. I know what you want here, but Kanna's already laid claim to it. Ha! She calls herself master. I call her minion. Whatever name you choose, it is her hand that will wield it, not yours.
The dog raises its head to the stormy sky and howls. The earth beneath you vibrates, a dirge plucked on the strings of a rotting lute.
Necrotic troll, you are summoned. Crawl through the gate. The earth open. To none. I'm ready.
Right where I want you.
They're at the back door now. 2 arms.
and get me, you overgrown grasshopper. Me good. There you are.
Rubbish. Junk. I'll need to get clever with this lock.
Fit as a fiddle. And what's the size?
And the house?
She'll be all right. And as smash, I Wrexham voice, we're off it.
The dog growls and bares its...
Come closer. I dare you.
Slobber drips from the dog.
Come closer.
He sniffs. He snarls.
I am death. There's no defying me.
The dog's growls intensify and transform into a rhythmic rasp that mimics laughter. You swear you see the ground behind him momentarily churn and tremble.
Do not mock me. You know what lies beneath. But I will not allow you another step closer, Newt. Kanna's already lit. She calls
the dog raises
necrotic troll. You are summoned. Crawl through the gate. The earth opens for thee.
Here lies Glenn Raymond, proud father, died in penury.
A knight of old, ready to die over a foolish king's whim. Nice statue, as statues go. Fastened tight.
Here lies Philan Surrey, whose family's jealous patronage helped build these burial grounds. Here lies an unnamed child of the Harwood. Here lies an unnamed their sorrows know no bounds. Here lies an unnamed child. Their sorrows know no bounds. Their sorrows know no bounds. Here lies Theo Pay, fortune teller and visionary. He didn't see it coming.
I've spotted something.
You were kind and honest and devoted to your dog, but you came a-knocking here in search of work, and the dog took a fancy to the man of the house. Your own dog turned on you and tore you down.
So still.
The figure is locked in You scrape your finger. Petrified. The petrified woman
So still here, like the air itself's been petrified.
Well, isn't this rich? Cursed by a coffin and rescued by a newt. The indignity.
She huffs in annoyance and rolls her eyes.
Oh, all this trouble, and for nothing. Never figured I'd need frost armour. A mutt? Oh, please. He's no mutt any more than I'm a maiden. Oh, but do forgive me. I haven't expressed proper gratitude.
She bows in insincere reverence. Her arm rests on her back, hand mere inches from her staff. She pauses and considers, then rises from her bow.
Oh, honey, so naive. Anathema's still out there, and I'm not keen on competition, if you get my drift.
A jolt of cursed fire flares from her staff, and you brace yourself for battle.
Bring it.
She pauses.
Oh, honey, so naive. Anathema's still out there, and I'm not keen on competition, if you get my drift.
A jolt of cursed fire flares from her staff, and you brace yourself for battle.
Bring it.
Anathema. cause did this knight serve, I wonder?
The familiar stone figure is a welcoming sight, and you are relieved. The masked
I've spotted something.
The headless statue looms over you. Its plinth bears the same. The headless statue. The statue doesn't move, no matter. The plinth of the statue rotates with little resistance. The sculpture looks impossibly heavy, yet turns with you cringe at the sound of stone grating against. You cringe at the sound of stone grating against. The headless statue looms.
Locked in perpetual prayer. Typical dwarven Ivalga. Do the dwarves worship this woman?
In death, the dwarves give eagles life. An elegant passing for an inelegant people.
The eagle glowers at you with one baleful eye, keeping. The eagle glowers at you balefully, with eyes like shiny little buttons. One manicured and beribboned claw shoots forth to claim the stringy offal before him. Stretching his neck forward, he peers closely at you.
Pretty eyes, eyes that see far.
The eagle's own eyes glitter with avarice.
Think I need your eyes? Please. Before me lies a banquet of power, the most splendid feast for all my senses.
Peck, peck, peck. The eagle pecks free some choice lump of gristle from deep within the corpse. He swallows it whole, dark blood dripping from his beak and matting the fluffy feathers at his throat.
Master died, but Master told me what to do. All my life told me you are what you eat. So I do. I will become the Master. Unless you are not the new Master, are you? The new Master must first partake of the old Master. Only then.
You chew it for what seems like forever, yet the texture does not change in your mouth. Tough yet moist, leathery yet slippery. It's disgusting. Sometimes you really wonder about how you make choices in life. Sometimes, like now. The eagle hops from claw to claw, peering up at you with a berserk and bird-like excitement.
See? Feel it? The power!
A hacking claw breaks free from his ebony beak. Those little button eyes seem to twinkle in the gloom.
Yes, kidney. Good for courage, good for warrior. You will fight well, now Master's blood runs within you. Featherfall is with you. Together, we go together from here.
Featherfall hops eagerly onto your shoulder and digs his claws in deep. He pecks your cheek in what could charitably be called an affectionate manner. Blood drips from the wound. At least he didn't go for your eyes.
It's not a silent monk, but it seems just as blank.
The creature barely notices your presence.
Let's see what spirits haunt this garden.
We died glorious deaths.
2 dwarven spirits at loggerheads. In a flash, you are both of them, brother and sister. Your feminine side is a rebel, rising up against the tyrannical queen. Your masculine side is a royalist, loyal to the monarch he loves. As the brother, you rescue your sister from the pikes of the royal guard. Together, you flee across the sea to the melting pot of Driftwood and Reaper's Coast. But in Driftwood, you visit the lizard. You are the sister, and you know that something is wrong. You climb the stairs to rescue your brother, and find him fighting for his life against the dwarves who would rob him. Both of you die. But your killers do right by their fellow dwarves, and bring you here to lay you to rest. As spirits, you fight for eternity, one convinced that the Queen is a tyrant, the other that your treason was wrong. The brother scowls. He feels vindicated. His sister still does not agree. A life is not worth living if you do not stand up for what you believe. The spirit is dressed in tattered ceremonial garb. Eagle feathers tangle in his beard, and bird droppings decorate his robes. He surveys the circling flock with evident satisfaction.
We died glorious deaths.
We were picked off by spies. There was no glory and no point to it either.
We are an inspiration to our people.
We're an example.
You watch yourself. There's a voice whispering promises to the dead. Word is that they'll be walking about with flesh on their bones again if they send you to the Hall of Echoes. You're God-woken, ain't you? You've a certain something about your aura. Don't ask me why. But someone out there's got it in for you and everyone like you.
At first glance, the spirit seems much like its host, hollow, detached. Yet, in its eyes, you see something more ominous, something not apparent before. Agony. The spirit nods, and its face grows even more tortured. It is trapped. Is this Riker's doing?
Spirits as haunted as the graveyard it roams.
The dog spirit rolls his head around, gawking at the ground and sky as if he's never seen them before.
I am death. The masses tremble at my might. We will retrieve anathema. Our enemies will bow before the demon blade.
He moves to lick his haunches and seems taken aback by his own translucence.
Once a demon, now a weapon. We heard its call and slayed our allies in its name. It is near. With it, we will slay living and undead alike. There will be no mercy.
The canine spirit lifts his head to howl, but can barely manage a whimper. He tucks his tail between his legs, shocked at his own impotence.
I found something. These are lizard remains, but in the human section of the graveyard, something's amiss.
You lay your hand on the withered lizard remains. A chill... Vilnix Creever. Almost sounds like a lizard name. But here... You struggle to focus on the so-called healer looking down at you. Nothing but a human quack. The end is near. You can sense it. You croak out a last plea, to be burned in the lizard tradition. But it only comes out as an unintelligible squeak.
You savage! I hope you choke on me.
Here lieth Jeff, first name. And no further use.
Won't budge. Gotta say, I think we're onto something in...
Spirit's lip curls upwards. She opens her mouth as if to speak, but her words fade in the tomb's chill. The longer you gaze, the more your inner source churns. You are drawn into her, her mind, her body, her past. They are no longer hers, but yours. You sit at a fire. At your left lies a black dog, basking in the warmth. Others huddle behind you. A young elf, a grizzled dwarf, and a skeleton. You hold a parchment up to the light and point at it. It is there that anathema can be found. The sky is dark, and the roaring fire is now a sad flicker. The others lie around it in a circle, but you hear no snores. Their chests neither rise nor fall. Their eyelids never twitch. You look to your left. The dog's yellow eyes lock with yours, and the two of you turn from the ring of corpses. And you gasp as you are thrust into the present. You take a few deep heaves, then glance at the spirit. Her mouth continues to gabble, but you're grateful that...
Bone dust. Even the petrified aren't immune to the ravages of time, it seems.
word from the back.
Can't talk, hungry. Hungry cheeseberry.
The rat vacuums up your scent. Its whiskers twitch.
Cheese food, fruit food.
The turtle looks up at you.
Lucky in life, unlucky in love. Oh, he does love a good nibble. If it meant he'd stick around, I'd lie in a bed of apples. Maybe you could drop some victuals next to me. They say the way to a rat's heart, I forget. May the soil under your feet stay ever slip.
The turtle looks up at you.
Lucky in may the soil.
Can't talk, hungry.
The rat's tail twists.
Food. No time, need food.
The rat's tail twists.
Food.
the soil.
Love is love.
It's nice to finally come out. May the soil.
Look at all these bones.
I've spotted something. Still stuck. Ugh, there must be another one. What's this? I found something. Ah, success. Ugh, it's shut tight. Ugh, it's shut tight. Ugh, it's shut tight. Ugh, it's shut tight.
door.
Ugh, it's shut tight.
It won't budge. How inconvenient. It won't budge. How inconvenient.
The servant grumbled.
Cremation pyre. From fire to ash. From ember to flame.
The chest before you is wreathed in flame. You lean in to examine the images further.
melee took place here, with House of Shadows assassins from the looks of it. I dread a dream undone.
The spirit shimmers faintly, reaching for you with vaporous arms, its voice as weak as the breeze.
Red Prince, art thou truly he? Of prophecy foretold, augured in ancient melody. Rav Mudon, Anan Eket, Vetu Duran. It means thou, what thou art, and what thou shalt be. The dreamer knows, he passeth by, chased by shadow. To the dreamer I will take thee, for I too dream. In death I dream, Red Prince. Let me guide thee.
The spirit comes closer and bids you look into its weary, wearying eyes. A sudden fatigue overwhelms you, and you fall asleep. Once more, you're in the great dark, but you deftly follow your guide in utter silence. The unseen tendrils lash, but do not find you. Soon you spy it, the solitary red eye, the haven in the horror. That is where you are headed. You arrive at the desert camp, dormant beneath an eternal sunset. Brahmos the Wanderer awaits.
Your Highness, you have found me. The House of Shadows stirs, sire. Assassins had me cornered, and so I took the last desperate action left open to me. I fled bodily into the dream realm. This is my world now. To Rivellon, I can never return. Not that it matters. It is but a small sacrifice to make in return for the fulfilling of the prophecy that is the Red Prince. It is time we talk about the prophecy, sire. First, let me ask you a question, Your Majesty. A query that involves the very fundamentals of who we are. Who are we? A falsehood. We are descendants of a race older than the gods. Here is the truth, Red Prince. We were dragons once. All of us. All lizards are descendants of dragons. Great red dragons. It is implausible because it has been made implausible. Our enemies are all too good at what they do. The prophecy, the secret that the House of Dreams has safeguarded for countless millennia, says that when the Red Prince and the Red Princess unite, their children will be dragons, and through their union all lizards will be dragons again. Throughout history, the House of Shadows has spilled the blood of thousands of dreamers to prevent your birth and your union. But we are on the cusp of denying them their long-sought victory. You must go to her, Red Prince. She is waiting for you. She's close to you, along Reaper's coast. There's a camp to the north. It's where I was headed before the House of Shadows caught up with me. She knows the House of Dreams is the ally of dragons. She's aware we've been trying to unite you against all the odds. So go to her, for she awaits you with ravenous patience. No one knows the motives of our enemy, why they seek to keep us shackled to the ground when we could soar and scorch. They look like lizards, but they think like demons. Though I've been battling them tooth and nail all my life, I cannot say who their leader is, if there even is such a creature, and of what race it is. But in the end, that is of no consequence. Unite with the Red Princess, and your children will breathe the fires of a second sun that will banish all shadow forever. Her name is Sadha, Princess of the House of Law. Just like you, she was raised within walls, protected against the world. But unlike you, born within the boastful House of War, her existence was kept a secret. It was I who pushed for secrecy, for as I held you both in my arms mere days after your birth, I knew the moment had come. As I knew the shadows would close in. You've known each other all your lives through dreams. I watched. You've longed for one another in loneliness. I saw. Two flames you were, with a long black shadow cast in between. But soon, no more in between at all. You ask me, sire, about a time when the Seven still strode this world, when the finger of a god would trace lazily along the land and leave in its wake a river. Who can tell what happened when the stars above this paradise darkened in the void and froze even the fire of dragons? All I know is that ever since the first lizards awoke, cold upon rock and sand, some of them dreamt, and in dreams remembered what they were, and could be again. As you wish, my prince.
A nonchalant snap of the fingers, and just like that, you're back in the land of the living.
Majesty, thou returnest from the nighttime realm. I, lost soul, know my duty is at an end. Fare thee well, All-Father. Blessed be Rav Mudom, Charal Evdekius Racht.
Here lieth Haverley North and child, struck down by a sorcerer fiend most vile. Here lies Old Man Malik. No dancing on this grave. An ancient grave marker. The name upon it has faded away. It is no longer possible to read the name upon this old grave marker.
Look out! I see a trap nearby. It won't budge. How inconvenient. It won't budge. How inconvenient.
Maybe this one.
What did that do? It's locked fast. It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. It's locked fast. Maybe it's connected to some other mechanism. I'll try a different order. What did that do? What did that do? I think a different approach is in order. What did that do? Maybe this one. That's not really what I had in mind. What did that do? What did that do? Not the outcome I'd hoped for. What did that do? Maybe this one. That could have gone better. I'll try a different order. What did that do? What did that do? I think a different approach is in order. Maybe this one. What did that do? That's not really what I had in mind. What did that do? Maybe this one. That could have gone better. I'll try a different order. What did that do? Maybe this one. Not the outcome I'd hoped for. What did that do? Maybe this one. That's not really what I had in mind. Maybe this one. What did that do? Not the outcome I'd hoped for. Maybe this one. What did that do? That could have gone better. I'll try. Maybe this one. Maybe this one. Hear that? Did something.
This won't be of any use.
All this wealth's just been going to waste.
Unlike so many other spirits, this one is hardly silent. She clicks and squawks the moment you approach her, like a cornered crow facing down a hungry owl.
Are you the new servant, then? My. You look like my old handbag, but dipped in cherry wine. You brought my tea, have you? Oh, honey, I didn't hire you for your entertainment value. I hired you to draw my bath and rub my calluses.
She raises her leg and pokes her foot towards you.
As you see, they need a lot of work. That old thing, it was passed to me by my father, Johannius. And my father's father, Johannius. And my father's 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 father, Johannius. Don't know what happened to the one in the middle. Don't rightfully know what it's supposed to do. Johannius, the umpteenth, brought it back from Blood Moon Island. I thought it might be good for stirring stew, but the cook gave it back. Said it made her feel funny. Whatever that... Mama cannot Renette got in.
The spirit stands there smiling, as if she hadn't just uttered the words of demons. Luckily, you understood them. Anathema seeks blood.
What just happened? You mean my display of proper posture and etiquette? The benefits of charm school, I don't expect you'd qualify. Hurry back.
You feel the unusual object's vast energy before your hand even touches its smooth surface. Upon contact, the semi-transparent artifact shivers and speaks. You know this language. It is an archaic tongue spoken only by demons for untold eons.
When as one, I am slayer of sin and the bane of the living. Restore my twin, make me whole. In archive of old the blade resides, an isle of blood where demons abide.
The object speaks once more, and you consider your fortune in understanding its demonic monologue.
I'm demon true, taken to Isle of Vaults, exorcised from host most dear. Anathema I'm called, but only halves before you. In archives rest the blade. The path is marked. Now on to Isle embark.
The heirloom is silent once more. The oblong object is crystal clear and unmarked by marks or chips. It rests snugly in your palm, as if meant to be gripped with a resolute hand. The object repeats its cryptic...
This thing speaks to me. But what is it trying to say?
My tongue! It's speaking the language of the Eternals. I mean, it is gibberish, but such beautifully phrased gibberish.
Sounds like any other plea for mercy to me. Utter nonsense.
It has a nice rhythm to it, doesn't it? Kind of like a song. Beautiful language.
The masked creature grunts.
Blessed.
She hums quietly. The dusty staircase leads to another hatch, which is blocked no matter how much you strain.
You'll always find a ruthless tyrant behind a righteous king's smile.
The chest before you is... You lean in to examine the images.
An ancestor tree. Pure grace in an undeserving world. The spirit of the tree may have much to say.
Come down, Godwoken! Come, decay!
An undead elf steps from the shadows. He looks powerful, but when he speaks, he is in pain.
Welcome, Godwoken, to your grave. I promise you decay. I decay. But if I serve, I grow again. I shall serve him. He is my
fine. You! Help! I'm down here! A mind of this magnitude shouldn't be cursed to live like this. Can you... Don't worry. There...
The skeleton tries to brush the dirt from his clattering bones, then frowns. But
thanks. You're probably looking for a reward, but I haven't got much.
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
I'm a bit of a philosopher, you see. Not much else to be, what with all that thinking time. Oh, but I don't just go around giving knowledge away like a...
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then straightens his spine with a clatter.
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. Then the cosmos itself will decide who can better face the truth of our own essence, me or you. But I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, it's easy. We link up souls and share our innermost beliefs. Think of it like an innocent little duel. The winner remains comfortable with their personal truths. The loser, well... Battle is dangerous, is it not? I find it to be true anyway, even when you're battling your own mortality. The angst can prove terminal to the weak-willed. Oh, how fun. Just touch this bone on my ribcage here, right over where my heart would be, if, well, you know.
You reach for the rib in question, but nothing feels different. Not until you try to pull your finger away, and it remains glued to the bone.
All right, miss. Deep thought. First up, our purpose in life. I say it's to accumulate knowledge. Pretty great answer, eh? Can you do better than that?
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. You question your response the moment it leaves your lips. Your entire body shivers anxiously as you wonder, what is this life's true meaning?
You poor, precious, pathetic thing. That's what happens when you gaze into an unseasoned soul. Let's see if you can do better this time. Tell me, Sally Smarty Pants, is there such a thing as free will? I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now. How could I have been so simple when the... Well, I won't let you outshine me again.
The skeleton hangs his head low, then yanks it upwards again.
Is there a difference between right and wrong? The truth is that there is not. Only action and consequence. Oh-ho! I got you there.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton. You pull your hand quickly back to your side. The truth of your final answer momentarily calms you, but it is not enough to ease the inner pain ripping through your mind, soul, and body. The pressure builds and builds.
Such a pity. Do you ever meet a true philosopher?
He pokes a finger against his ossified head.
You found one right here. Spent centuries buried under the dirt. What with all that thinking time, I've found nothing less than the wisdom of the ages. Are you questioning my intellect? You think you say more sooth than me, a verified soothsayer?
The skeleton pauses and sighs, then...
A soul bond will settle it. A battle of wits. But I'm sure you'll be just fine. Battle is dangerous, is it not? Oh, it's easy. The loser, well... I don't blame you. Got yourself together? Let's soul bond and see who's got a better Oh, how fun.
You reach for...
All right, mister.
His jaws clack together in a show of self-assurance. A shattering shiver passes through the skeleton's body from toe to head. Then...
Well, but... Let's just move on to the next question. Tell me, Sammy Smarty Pants. I say no. The gods guide our every move. I dare you to outsmart me now. Oh, gods, I can hardly bear to. All right? All right.
The skeleton hangs his head low, then yanks it upwards again.
One last query. Is there a difference between right and wrong? The truth is that there is not. Only action and consequence. Oh-ho! I got you there.
You feel the bond break between your finger and the skeleton.
I can't bear this existential agony.
Here rests Timus Anchoret. Ever may he look out upon the woods, a simpleton's idea of a clever man, and a poor man's idea of a rich one.